Hello and welcome to the Spirit Spa, an online sanctuary dedicated to supporting you if you're in the early stages of recovering from a nervous breakdown, so that you can identify why the breakdown has happened to you and work out your next natural steps towards rebuilding a flourishing life for yourself. I'm Packwood, the UK's leading expert on healing during the early stages of recovering from a nervous breakdown. And in today's video, I'm going to be answering the question, what was it that made me feel as if I was fully recovered? This was a question that was asked to me following the video that I posted earlier this week, where I talked about how long does it take to recover from a nervous breakdown. And I was explaining that it had actually taken me quite a few years, and that it was actually only recently that I began to feel as if I was almost fully recovered, even though my breakdown was 15 years ago. And if you would like to watch that video and you haven't done so already, the link will be in the comments box below. But yeah, so this obviously triggered somebody to want to, why, what was it that actually kind of made me feel as if I was actually kind of, recovered again? And it's quite a simple answer, actually. It's much more simple to say it than it was to actually get to the point of feeling that way. Because the answer is that I actually really made the decision to really honour the guidance that was coming forward, as part of my healing journey, in terms of being absolutely true to who I am. Those of you that watch my videos regularly, you'll know that that I had the breakdown 15 years ago. You know that very early on I began to ask myself the question, if I was to love myself today, what would I do? And what I wasn't prepared for was what was actually going to come out of asking myself those questions regularly. And of course, a lot of it at the beginning was just about survival things, getting up, brushing my teeth and so on. And then it began to evolve into different things. There was a part of me that was coming forward to saying that you need to write, Karen. There was another part of me that kind of really brought forward the part of me that is the spiritual healer and the clairvoyant. And then there's the other part of me that just loves nature. Nature was a really important part of my own healing. It was such a vital part of my own healing. But can you imagine, I had been a very sensible school teacher. So can you imagine what it was like when my inner guidance system was saying to me, you really, really need to be bringing your clairvoyance out into the world. And I was thinking, well, I'm not sure that I want to do that. People have very negative opinions about clairvoyance. Some people have negative opinions about clairvoyance. Do I want to be open and upfront about my skills as a clairvoyant? Aren't people going to think I'm a bit, woo-woo or a bit wacky? Am I away with the fairies? I come from a professional background. I wasn't so sure that I wanted to be really out there as a healer, as a clairvoyant. So that was a big journey for me, and that was a journey that took, well over 10 years. I mean, I've known about my healing and my clairvoyant skills for a very long time, but it's only very recently, only in the last few years, that I've really brought that out on a professional basis, because I was embarrassed, I was ashamed, I was shy. What would the reception be? Even putting this video out there today, declaring it. It's a big thing. It's something I've kept shy in these videos. It's only recently that I've kind of touched on them. So it was a really big shift in my life to kind of accept that I had these gifts, and I know that these gifts help people. I've worked with many clients now who have, there's lots of evidence from the work that I do with my clients that those gifts that I have as the clairvoyant, as the healer, really make massive transformations in people's lives that have, helped them, move their life forward in ways that, I wasn't expecting, and they certainly weren't expecting. So it was such a big journey for me, a big inner journey to gain confidence around those skills, to gain the confidence to come out kind of loud and proud about those skills. It was, a massive step forward. But as I've been on that journey to doing that and beginning to come out visibly and sort of say, this is who I am, something inside me has begun to feel more well. I've got to the point where I don't, people don't like me because I have that gift and skill, when, that's fine, that's their choice. I, full respect to them, to, honouring their truth as well. But something inside me had to be very honest about that, because while I wasn't being honest about it, something inside me wasn't feeling fully well. So that was a massive journey, and as I say, it took a very long time, probably over 10 years actually, to actually really get to the point of being confident enough to come out and say, this is who I am, this is what I do, these are gifts that I have that can help people make massive transformations in their life. So that was one thing. And then of course there was the writer. Very, very early on in my healing journey, it was clear that writing was something that I needed to do to help me process what was going on, to analyse what was going on, to connect in with the inner guidance, and that was all through journaling. But there was a very big pull there, Karen, you need to be writing. And so, I've been doing that very quietly, doing, in the early days it was just journaling. But then I began to get involved in some writing projects, and got involved in co-authoring the books that some of you will know about. I don't publicise it too much at the moment, but as some of you will know, I have co-authored 3 books in the area of well-being that all did very well on Amazon, all became #1 bestsellers on Amazon. But even that, for quite a long time I've been very shy about sharing about that and being proud of that, if you like, because who am I to think that I could be a successful writer? That was the inner journey that was going on me. I've fallen apart. I've allowed myself to fall in my life to fall into ruin. I've had a breakdown. Who am I to think that I could be successful as a writer? It's okay to do it privately at home, but publicly and successfully, who am I to believe that? And it was only when before Christmas last year, decided, well, this is something that's really important to me. It helps my healing, but also I know that it's something that I can do to help others with their healing too. And that was when I decided to really honour that and apply for the Masters, which I shared a couple of weeks ago. I've now started, and it was really, getting onto that course, really identifying with the writer in me, that part of me began to feel healthy and well again. Not denying myself, not being ashamed of myself, not repressing myself, not hiding myself away, but really honouring, those parts of me that loves to write, and really wants to actually bring that writing out into the world for my own personal satisfaction and well-being, but also to help and support other people too. So in terms of what really allowed me to come back to a place of, feeling as if I was really on the pathway to feeling, fully well again, it was really having the confidence and the courage to honour those parts of me that I felt a bit ashamed of, that I felt embarrassed by, that I didn't know, whether there was any kind of goodness to come out of them. Am I really able to help and support people? Now I've been doing the work with clients for quite a few years now, but I've been doing it very privately and very quietly, and certainly not going out there and all guns blazing about it. But by doing that, I've built up my own confidence and my own wellness as well, to now bring that work out into the world in a kind of like an even bigger way, to help support people in an even bigger way as well. So that's what's helped me, is constantly from the word go, if I was to love myself today, what would I do? Starting off with the small things, doing lots of the inner work. I've had to do so much inner work, as you are all doing as well. It's an ongoing journey, isn't it? But eventually your confidence begins to build up again. You begin to feel more and more well in different aspects of your life, and then you begin to have the confidence and courage to really listen in to the gifts and the skills that want to come forward, that want to support you in life, that want to help and transform your life from a place of feeling as if it's broken and shattered, back into a place of wholeness again. So that's the answer to the question. What was it that has really helped me in these last few months, that has really kind of shifted my own healing and my own transformation? It's an ongoing journey, but it's a journey that is really well worth doing it. So make sure you know that I'm always encouraging you to have your journal. I truly believe that writing is an incredibly wonderful form of healing. I think it really helps you transform, transforms the areas where you're struggling, and it helps to really bring a sense of empowerment into your life. And I'm going to be talking more about that in future videos and in future videos. So that's the answer to the question in terms of myself, my own shift from, feeling, shattered at times still, into a place of feeling more whole, the porcelain doll that I talk about, feeling as if she's being pierced back together again. So if you have any more questions on that, if you'd like to ask me any, I'm very happy to share my own personal journey, because I know that by hearing from somebody else that's been through the experience is so helpful. And when you're right in the early days, you feel so alone, and it's very difficult to find people who are prepared to talk about it or able to talk about it. So I'm very happy to talk about my own personal experience. So please ask me any questions that you want to. Email me at karenpackwood@gmail.com to do that. Moving on to my next video, there's one more question. There's another video that I'm going to do that's relating to sort of my own personal experience of recovery, and then I'm coming back to answer some much more general videos in answer to some of the other questions that you've sent me. One of them that's come in this week that I'm going to be answering over the next couple of weeks is around what happens when you go back to work and you feel you feel as if you've taken about 1,000 steps back, and you just feel completely depressed again, and you have a real strong sense of feeling that something's not right for you in that situation. So that video is coming. I have a long list of videos, but ask me as many questions as you want to, so that we can I can help you on your healing pathway. So also just be aware that I'm going to be bringing out some more spiritually based videos, the clairvoyance side of things, the healing side of things. I'm going to be bringing forward some readings on a regular basis. Some of you will find that they're absolutely right for you and you enjoy them, and some of you will see that you'll kind of just enjoy these videos where it's just much more me talking and sharing information and guidance with you. You'll know which ones feels right for you. Some of you will like both, some of you will like one or the other. Pick and choose. Use what's right for you. It's all there to help and support you in whatever way feels right for you. And if there's anything that you would like me to do for you that I'm not doing, let me know so that I can help create it for you. So I'm Karen Packwood. This is the Spirit Spa, an online sanctuary dedicated to supporting you if you're in the early stages of recovering from a nervous breakdown, so that you can identify why the breakdown has happened to you and work out your next natural steps towards rebuilding a flourishing life for yourself. If you're new to listening to me, don't forget to subscribe and like so that you get regular updates, and I am wishing you a very peaceful and loving week. Take care. Lots of love. Bye bye.